the 2016 Mazda CX-5. Now, if you are looking for one of the best all-around compact crossovers on the market, or just a fantastic car in general, you're looking at it, and there's no mistake as to the reason why this is Mazda's best-selling car at the moment. I'm Jay, and welcome to this latest episode of CarBuzz Unboxing Reviews, and yeah, today I'm going to go more in depth about the CX-5. Before I get started, I also want to thank DGDG.com for letting CarBuzz come on down and film this for you today. So the CX-5, now you see these all the time on the road. I am sure it first went on sale for the 2013 model year, and it was just given a midlife facelift for 2016. Actually, 2016 and a half. And basically, Mazda already took a fantastic car and, well, just made it even better and made it even more competitive until the next generation arrives, which will probably be for the 2018-2019 model year. Now, something you need to know about the CX-5 is that it was the first production model for Mazda to feature its brand new Kodo styling language, which is there for all cars at the moment in the Mazda lineup. But let's start this engine because I got to tell you more about that as well. Alright, so that was the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated Skyactiv 4-cylinder engine. Total 184 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque. And power is sent to all four wheels through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, front-wheel drive is standard, but for an extra $1,300, you can tack on all-wheel drive. And what's nice is you can tack it onto all three trim levels, which include Sport, Touring, and Grand Touring. And this model, just so that you know, is the top-of-the-line Grand Touring. And just look at this exterior design. I mean, this is just a fantastic looking car. Like I told you, the design language is called Kodo, and it's painted in crystal white pearl, and that's an extra $200, but I think it fits this car very well, especially with these 19-inch alloy wheels. And the overall styling, it's elegant, it's sexy, it's sporty, it's all those things into one. In fact, a Mazda official was telling me at a car show one time that they like to think of themselves as the Alfa Romeo of Japan, and I really couldn't agree more here. And in the compact crossover segment, I personally think the CX-5 is the best looking one out of all of them, and that includes the Ford Escape, the Toyota RAV4, and I'll get to the competitors shortly as well. But the overall dimensions of this car, I mean, Mazda just nailed it. And especially with this crystal white pearl paint, you can just see some of the details like the character lines above and below the door handles here. Now, just so that you know, the CX-5, it's actually based on the same platform that also underpins the excellent Mazda 3 and Mazda 6 sedans. Now, the Mazda 3 you can get as both a sedan and a hatchback. This Mazda 6, at least in the US, is a sedan only. And this is a very good platform. It is part of Mazda's Skyactiv technology lineup, which includes engines, transmissions, and chassis. And it's just, you know, Mazda does a great job of combining day-to-day usage with just a sporty character. I like to think of the CX-5 as sort of the poor man's BMW X3 or Audi Q5. We're really at that level here because I also said in my unboxing review of the Mazda 3 that car is sort of like the poor man's BMW 3 Series. What I also like about this exterior is part of the Grand Touring Tech package. For an extra $1,155, you have LED headlights, adaptive front lighting, and LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights as well. Now this engine, this is the optional engine. The base engine is a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 155 horsepower and 150 pound-feet of torque. This car, it will take you from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.7 seconds, and top speed is electronically limited to 120 miles per hour. Now, the transmission here, like I mentioned, it is a 6-speed automatic, but with the base sport trim, with the 2-liter engine, you can get a 6-speed manual, and that is just wicked cool. In this interior, oh man, they call this parchment color, which is well, white with black trim. And again, just like the exterior design, this interior is fantastic. And for 2016, as part of the facelift, they upgraded the materials as well. For an example, the touchscreen color display, it used to be 5.8 inches, now it's a complete 7 inches. And everywhere you touch, it's nice quality materials. I love this leather trim. And it's that typical Japanese build quality because the CX-5 is actually built in Mazda's plant in Hiroshima, Japan. And rear seat space, yeah, it's also quite adequate here. I mean, you got to remember, this is a compact crossover. If you need a larger crossover, Mazda has it. It's called the CX-9, and I did an unboxing review of that as well, and that was just completely redesigned for 2017. I encourage you to check that out too. And yeah, this interior, it is as high quality as it looks. And it's, again, when you compare the competition here, whenever they don't do anything quite up to spec of the CX-5, you just wonder why not? Because they should be. This CX-5, in my opinion, is the benchmark for the class. It's in compact crossovers. They're extremely hot sellers right now. And in fact, the CX-5 is the replacement for what was the old Mazda Tribune. And that was a twin of the old previous generation Ford Escape. And the CX-5 replaced Mazda's own CX-7, which it looked good from the outside, but interior space was, well, not very good at all. Now, from the driver's seat, I mean, just wow, this is just a fantastic place to be. Now, maybe my only complaint here, and I want to stress, I'm getting a little nitpicky, is that it's kind of dark. I would have liked to have seen, instead of all the black, especially some of this black piano plastic here, maybe like a lighter gray tone, just something to brighten up the interior a little bit. But again, that's being just sort of nitpicky on what I think is the segment leader. And yeah, there's that touch screen there. Again, it's now 7 inches instead of 5.8 inches. And that's standard, that touch screen, regardless of trim level. And this is the same system that I talked about on the Mazda 3, the Mazda MX-5, both of them, the standard soft top and the RF. This is really a really nice system here. And yeah, the graphics actually do remind me of Audi's system. And of course, it's controlled by a rotary dial on the center console. So once you've started to play with these infotainment systems, you'll really understand them all. It's kind of incredible to me just how fast these infotainment systems have come to cars these days. I remember when BMW first introduced iDrive almost a decade and a half ago. It was so revolutionary. People just didn't know what to do with it at first. So safety, let's talk about that because, again, this is a family vehicle. You get a lot of standard safety bits here. Tire pressure monitoring system, blind spot monitoring, four-wheel disc ABS brakes, a rear view camera, traction control, stability control. Yeah, you're all set, and as well as your typical front driver and passenger airbags, side airbags, the whole shebang there. Yes, and dual zone climate control. That's, well, I'm seeing that more and more on just base level cars these days as well, and of course you'll find it on the CX-5. And as you can see, general interior storage space it's very adequate. It's more than what you'll need, I'll tell you that. So how does this drive? Well, okay, just to let you know, to make it very crystal clear, there are two driving modes, normal and sport. And sport, let me tell you, it's very sporty. It really tightens up the chassis, and I think maybe some people might find it a little too aggressive, like sporty, sport plus type like that. If sport plus mode did exist, it would be kind of like that. Yes, and this moonroof, that's standard in this trim, very nice. But there is no panoramic sunroof, which, well, little surprise, but like I said earlier, completely redesigned CX-5 is a few years away, and I'm sure it'll offer that. And there's that 6-speed automatic, and yeah, it shifts very nicely. And for a 6-speed, I mean, look, you're starting to see automatic transmissions going up to 9-speed these days, and I thought this 6-speed was just fine. And all the driver gauges here are very clear and easy to read. But like I mentioned, in terms of the driving feel, this is not the fastest compact crossover on the market today. I believe the Ford Escape is a little faster, but I don't think that really shouldn't matter. I mean, you're not buying these for outright speed. You're buying them for just good daily use. And this one, especially in sport mode, is a lot of fun to drive. But like I said, I think normal driving mode is what most people are going to decide to stick with. So what's the competition? Well, I already mentioned a couple. You have the Ford Escape, Toyota RAV4. There's also the Honda CR-V, Nissan Rogue, Kia Sportage, Jeep Cherokee, Subaru Forester, and the Volkswagen Tiguan. Now, all those start at around $23,000 to $25,000, and well, the Volkswagen is the most expensive one, going up to nearly $40,000. But the rest of them try about the mid $30,000 range. But as far as CX-5 pricing, now the base model, the Sport, starts off at around $23,000. The middle-level Touring, $25,215, and the Grand Touring trim that you see here begins at $28,570. But this car has several options, and once you factor those in along with the delivery and destination fee, this car has a grand total of $34,200. A little pricey. Yes, but bear in mind that the average American these days is spending $33,000 on a new car. So at $34,000, fully loaded, this CX-5 fits right in there. Now, like I mentioned, this one is also equipped with all-wheel drive, and that's an extra $1,300. Now, you really don't need all-wheel drive, especially if you live in a warm climate that doesn't get a lot of rain or snow or whatever. So unless you do, just stick to the front wheel drive. And in terms of cargo space, yeah, this is perfectly adequate. The rear seats fold just like that. And I like that mechanism there where it just does it by itself. Again, Mazda, they're really good about these details. Instead of you having to actually use a little switch or knob there for you to manually lower it, you just press a button, they just go down like that. Okay, so what do I like about this car? Well, first and foremost, the fantastic steering and just the fun to drive factor. You also have the high quality interior, and just this car, it continues to improve, especially with the facelift. And look, this exterior styling is fantastic. It really looks good. And I also like the fact that with the sport model, the base trim, you can get that with a 6-speed manual. I mean, you're starting to see these manuals go out of, commission these days, and Mazda's still offering it, and that's fantastic. Now, what don't I like? Well, to be honest with you, not much. I would like to maybe see a diesel option for the CX-5 that is offered overseas in Europe, for an example. It would be interesting to see a diesel in the U.S., even in light of the whole Volkswagen Dieselgate scandal. There's also the sport driving mode. Like I mentioned, it might be a little too much for some, but again, I'm being nitpicky, and like I mentioned, I think some of the interior colors, especially with all the black, it's just a little too dark, and I would like to see it brightened up a little bit. But the bottom line is that this is a great all-around compact crossover. You just get a great balance of utility, space, efficiency, and good driving dynamics. And yeah, it's more fun to drive than a Ford Escape, and I've been told, and I even tested it myself, the Ford Escape is a blast to drive, but this is even better. But I'm out of time for today. Thanks everyone for watching. If you have any more questions for me, just leave them in the comment section below. Any suggestions for future unboxing reviews, also leave those in the comment section, and be sure to subscribe to the CarBuzz Unboxing YouTube channel. So until my next video, see you next time.